You are now listening to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast, a weekly review of Monday Night Raw and other wrestling-related topics. And here's your hosts, Peter Day and Jake Grandi.
Word.
So,
big weekend.
hello, germs. You're listening to
And ladies.
germs. They're all germs. I'm not turning heel. I'm just tired. You're listening to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling podcast.
For April Fool's Day, April 1st.
Oh, it is April Fool's Day.
Yeah, this podcast sucks. Just kidding, April Fools.
This podcast rules. April Fools. We are here to give our review on what transpired over the weekend and this small event called Wrestlemania. I think you heard of it.
Granddaddy Mall.
And the Raw afterwards. And let's just get right into it, because it's enough to talk about. At the same time, you want to get the NXT thing going for the Fast in the World podcast. But before we go into it, I just want to because we have been busy here at pjtwcentral.com. A lot of new content that's up, also on the YouTube page. Go back and listen to our predictions. There's also a video of us actually doing the predictions. Be sure to check out last week's Faster Than the World podcast with Jake and Fritz. Be sure to check out Peter Talks SmackDown.
Okay.
That went up from last week. It was the pre-show. The go home, somewhat of a go home show. It was almost like a showcase.
Yeah.
Before Mania. Also check out. Jake just did an interview with this guy named Nick Zappo.
Mm-hmm.
Zappo.
Yeah, I think it's Zappo.
Nick Z.
Thanks a lot, dude.
Nick Ziggle.
He was.
Explain more about him and what you did for the interview.
Well, he was actually just at Mania all weekend, so we interviewed him about the NXT show.
Who is he?
Oh, he's a.
And why is he important?
Well, he plays in he fronts this band Heart to Heart. It's a punk band. They tour around. I think they're internationally recognized. They're on Pure Noise Records. It's pretty cool. And he's a big wrestling fan, and through that he went to WrestleMania this week, and we got him on the podcast talking about how crazy it was. Just a little interview, and he's definitely going to be a friend of the show because he's going to leave his home in California and go to, I think, Illinois to train under Seth Rollins Wrestling School. He's going to be a pro wrestler, and he's going to juggle both being in a band and everything. And I think he wants to kind of jump on some podcasts and kind of use that as like a chronicle for his journey, which I think would be a good guess.
So Heart to Heart is a punk band. They have several albums out. They're well known in the underground punk circuit.
Yeah.
They have a new album out called Dolce.
Yes.
So if you haven't heard it yet, the song that's actually opens the interview is a song called, what is that song called?
I'm not sure the title of that song. It's pretty good. It is on the album Dolce. All those songs are pretty good. If you like that song, that song is, check out the album. It's the same vein. They did
and they've done the Warped Tour.
They've done the Warped Tour. They come through. I know they did this the Pure Noise Records tour, which is another big tour in the fall, and then they jumped on another tour with Comeback Kid, which is a big punk band. Comeback Kid actually used to have a band back in the day called Figure 4, so obviously another wrestling ties there.
Mm.
So yeah, they're doing their thing, and I guess from what he says, he's going to juggle independent wrestler with recognized punk band.
He's trying to get his Chris Jericho on.
Yeah.
And also if you got 17 minutes to spare, it's not a really long. It's not like one of our reviews. It's actually only like 17 minutes. You hear I love the song actually. I think it's pretty good, and he just explains his WrestleMania weekend and what he did. So you got the time, go and check that out. Also, on YouTube, exclusively, check out our Wrestlemania live reactions.
Yeah, I was checking that earlier.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I didn't even know downstairs. I said, because Seth Rollins lost, I was like, is there a cash in? I forgot I even said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, wow. I forgot I even said that. Is that possible cash in? So yeah, check out all that stuff. Also check out when you have the time, if you watch Total Divas. Shout out to Alexa Feldman. She has her pilot, Dang, We Love Divas podcast with her and Will, and they do a review of the season finale of Total Divas. And the next one will be when the next Total Divas show airs,
I think
in May, maybe May or June. But anyway, we're going to have her on to keep her busy every once in a while when she's not at work. So go and check that out. Check out any and all the stuff. Check out my beats. Check out everything. So pjtw.central.com. And without further ado, let's talk about this insane mania. Rave reviews across the board. Rave reviews.
It's pretty good. I would say definitely in my top 5 manias.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, I've heard people talk about it's like in their top 3. And we're talking about like guys who are well known throughout the IWC. Like, you know, they would be considered like old school.
Yeah.
You know, they've been watching wrestling.
For sure.
And they're very critical. And as highly critical as they were going into WrestleMania, it's sort of weird that as soon as it happens, it's like, my God, this is one of the greatest WrestleManias ever.
Yeah, it was like they knew what they were doing to like drag the hype down to make it hit you even harder. I feel like we all got kind of. I feel like they.
I don't think so. I think this is one of the conversations we have all the time. It's like, yo, these events or pay-per-views, they always work themselves out. Yeah. I think it's an event. It's a pay-per-view. They're not going to sit on their hands about it. Now that the network is around, they changed the format a bit. Maybe don't give you as much as they could say if you were kicking out like $65 to see it. They're giving you a $9.99 product.
Which is cool.
But there's still, it's the biggest show of them all. So between Survivor Series, which was really good, you know, and the Royal Rumble, which was really good to a certain extent. I mean, I think a lot of people weren't happy, but it didn't take away from it didn't take away from the show and how everyone performed. You know, what's the other one? SummerSlam. And last SummerSlam was really good. So, I don't know. I just think that it's easier to sort of pick and point at something because we're so used to picking and pointing out things and being like very, disgruntled and kind of like dismissive about what the WWE is capable of doing, i.e. this fucking Raw, and i.e. this fucking WrestleMania. But I don't care. As much as you want to nitpick, you will always enjoy the pay-per-views. It's just going to be a thing.
Yeah,
it's
so.
just the way it is.
Well, yeah, they kick off biggest show of the year, biggest pre-show of the year. 2 big matches on the pre-show.
Jesus Christ.
We had the tag match, and to start things off, Cesaro and Kid come out with matching tights. It's a big deal, guys. And they take out, I think Jey Uso's the one who's hurt, so Cesaro takes him out earlier on. So then they got, Jimmy, and then they got Jey in there battling it out for himself. He might win it single-handedly, was kind of what they were hinting at throughout the match. A lot of great matches. That was one of my favorite matches on Mania, and it just started things off. Kid and Cesaro, though, successful at the end. Obviously, a lot of good wrestling on that match. What'd you think, Peter? Or did you even get a chance to watch?
Nah, I mean, even if I did get to go, I wouldn't have cared because the tag team card, the tag team, just the whole tag team, it's horrible. It's not worth keeping up with, and those tag team belts don't really mean anything.
Well, Naomi did have a big Samoa Joe, not Samoa Joe-esque like tope to the floor. You know how Samoa Joe kind of turns to the side to get through the ropes a little bit? It was like that, but only it was over the top rope. It was beautifully done. I would say Naomi with the spot of the match, especially that match. And then moved on to the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Big Show won. Let's just cut to the chase. Big Show won. He threw out Mizdow. I
have my thoughts. I actually go ahead. But initially I was like, fuck. But I've always had my feeling about that battle royal anyway. So go ahead and say what you're saying.
I was gonna say it's so obvious that that's kind of what the first thing you think of is, of course, the big guy wins. But then if you think about it, you think he never has won. He's never won the Royal Rumble, and I don't think I've seen him won any battle royals unless you're talking about maybe a throwaway one on Raw. So then it was kind of cool to have him have his little WrestleMania moment. He gets the trophy, and that legitimizes, I would say, the trophy a little more because it goes on Big Show and Cesaro, two guys who are known for being strong, which shows what you're trying to do with the trophy every year for Mania.
I think that is his only WrestleMania moment. For some reason, WrestleMania rolls around, they got nothing for him.
Yep.
Almost every year. They got something for SummerSlam. They always got something for him for SummerSlam. But never for the WrestleMania. But the way I see it is this. And the if only that Battle Royal was beyond just bragging rights. Mm-hmm. I think I would be more invested into who won it or not, because all you have, you win it, you don't get a shot at the belt. It's not the Royal Rumble. You don't get really any kind of treatment to an advancement up the card. You don't ascend really. It's just bragging rights. So you look at how they did it with Cesaro, and everyone had their thoughts on what I think everyone else is, because the WWE already had in mind what the fucking that battle royal was going to be. Mm-hmm. Philip. Just a means to get everyone out there.
Yeah,
it's a showcase.
Well, they did. Yeah, I think I've said before they did it every year anyway. It was just a dark match. So now they kind of made a little bit of a big deal. They made a trophy.
But it was a dark match, and you never really knew or cared who won. And I don't see why it would change now. I mean, I'd imagine with the network and now having more time to fill, you're talking about how many hours? 6 hours?
No, wait, I think
7 hours to fill? I mean, why not? But it doesn't really represent anything. So you take Cesaro, where everyone thought that was going to help him ascend higher up the card, and it didn't. It didn't at all. And when you talk, it actually did him an injustice. You look at everyone wanting Mizdow to win. I'm glad he didn't, because it wouldn't have done anything. I think him fighting it out, him losing in a fucking respectable manner, and it played more into getting him more over than actually winning it. To see, because everyone actually felt sympathy. He's like the new Santino. You remember when Santino almost won the Elimination Chamber? He almost won the Royal Rumble. Like, we actually felt for the guy.
Yeah, for sure.
It never got serious, though. And I feel like there's what thing with Miz is that it can get serious. And they got no plans for the Big Show. Not really. He's just going to be a thug for the Authority. Okay. So why not put it on him? It's not like it's going to hurt him or it's going to help him. And that's already in the situation he is. So if he had a shot at the belt from winning that, then yeah, I'd be pretty pissed off. But it means nothing. They put it on the right guy. Not the big guy. The right guy.
The right guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because, they can't fuck it up. Yeah. They would fuck up Ryback. They're already fucking up Ryback. They would fuck up Mizdow.
This is the third time they're going to fuck up Ryback. It's coming up. Mm-hmm. But and then we move on to the actual show. After America the Beautiful was sung by which gentleman?
Aloe Black.
Yeah, what's
Aloe Black is now.
You said he was a rapper, right?
Yeah, he's a rapper. He never changed his name.
Yeah.
He was from this group called Eminon from the early 2000s.
Were they good?
They're really good. The producer, I cannot think of the producer's name right now, but he still does work underground hip hop work. But their album is called The Waiting Room. It's fucking dope. You'd be hard stressed to believe that this same guy who's doing Tracy Chapman style folk music was once like this really, I would call him elite MC, underground MC from the Bay Area. Waiting Room. There's a song called Count Your Blessings, where they use Sister Nancy's Bomb Bomb. He just chops the shit out of it, and he's like just playing off words and stuff, and just destroys it. It's amazing stuff.
Yeah, well,
go back if you're listening. Go back and Emanon, Emanon.
Well, he's had his WrestleMania moment, no doubt about it.
But it's just hard to believe that's the same guy.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
He's like a big singing pop star from obscurity, to like this big thing. I mean, he raps way better than he sings.
Yeah.
Oh well.
And then after that, the ladder match. I thought it was a pretty awesome ladder match. I really obviously notable spots. But it just ended with Ziggler and Bryan kind of having it out, headbutting match at the top of the ladder, just like everyone thought. Just the two stars that pretty much, I think you said.
I said it.
Yeah, you said it. I felt like, it's kind of in the air that those two are the guys you kind of wanted to watch.
And then third wheel shows up. It's Ambrose.
Oh, yeah.
He gets up there. He's the third wheel. He's the third wheel of everything right now. It sucks.
Well, yeah, and then
he catches a bad bump. That's a notable spot. Who does it? Luke Harper?
Oh, throws him on the ladder?
Oh, God.
It was... Dude, that was an incredible... And, if we're just talking about spots...
He's not even wearing white.
We had the Falling Star spot by Goldust. I always love that when he does that. Looks great. And the Harper dropping Ambrose on that ladder pretty hard. And then, of course, Wrestlemania again to start things off. They made a big deal. They said, the way they started WrestleMania or ended WrestleMania last year is how they're going to start it this year. And I think that was a great way Michael Cole did to spin it into something positive, into being like, he was on the main event, now he's opening the show. But you got to spin it, you got to make it look good as an announcer. So good job, Michael Cole. What did you think of the match?
Not enough Harper. I thought Harper was going to be the dark horse in this entire thing. I thought R-Truth was going to get some more airtime.
You'd expect big comedy spots, especially
not necessarily comedy spots. I mean, the guy he's an amazing athlete.
Well, I'm just saying with the
and he had some spots
with the comedic build-up that they put on him leading in.
I pay no attention to that shucking and jabbing shit. I just want to pay attention to him as an athlete. They didn't play into the height thing, which I was really happy they didn't do. Like him afraid, because that's been the whole talk. Every time he's in a ladder match, I'm afraid of heights, and it's like, whatever, dude. You're also afraid of water too, though. You don't swim. Yeah, let's cut that shit out. It's not doing him any justice because he's an excellent performer. I ride him, I bang him but I shouldn't be riding and banging him. I need to be riding and banging, Michael P.S. Hayes, dumbass.
You're saying it's him?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. There wasn't enough of him, especially being that he got the pin last Thursday or Monday. I think it was Thursday. He got the pin in the 6-man tag. But he and Harper, I really thought, take what he did with that was it Ambrose or Ziggler that he did he have in a ladder match? It was Ziggler. Right?
Ziggler, yeah.
Yeah, like his performance in that ladder match, I thought was going to transfer over to this one, and it didn't. They actually didn't focus on nothing of him. I mean, the only thing he got was the big drop.
Yeah,
he put down.
He kind of got lost. Yeah, these two guys got lost in the shuffle. And what can you expect? It's 7 guys out there, and it's like, what was it, 10-15 minute match? So that leaves about 1 to 2 minutes for all of them to shine.
Yeah, you could tell that they were all like kind of rushing. It didn't seem natural.
Yeah.
It did that as good as it could have been. And this is overall, I think the show was great. But the battle royal, the tag team match, I didn't even care. Battle royal and this, whatever. I hate that they didn't get enough time. I think we probably would have gotten a more natural match if they weren't. Because when Daniel Bryan got it, it seemed almost as if like, yeah, go get it. On to the next.
Yeah.
And I feel like they were performing under duress.
Yeah, especially with that big crowd reaction when he did have it. If they just kept the camera on him with the belt high, they could have held that for about...
It could have been more of a struggle.
Yeah.
I think it could have been way more of a struggle for him to get that belt. But they didn't go that route.
Yeah. And then we had which is one of my, I would say, my favorite match other than like the main event because of the storyline. But as far as work match, Orton and Rollins was my favorite match of the night. They had great. Orton took a buckle bomb in this, which is pretty awesome. You don't really see that every day. And then the final in spot, which was pretty awesome, where Rollins went for the curb stomp, but the strength of Orton's head and neck threw him in the air to catch him into the.
He set him up to do it.
Yeah,
He was the apex predator.
Yeah.
He scouted him out. He's like, all right, I know how I can beat this, and he fucking propels his ass like a good. he puts him up there.
He was 6-7 feet in the air.
Yeah, he put
came
him
down in the RKO. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, he was a champ for doing that. I wonder if that's gonna be how people counter that move from now on.
That's the only kind I've ever seen.
Could you see like Cesaro do that, like, and catch him with the uppercut? oh, dude, my nuts would explode. Like, he pulled off the same thing because it's scouted. You know, it's almost like the scene you can't see me. Like, people have scouted that, you know, when finally you can, you know, basically kick him in the head. You know, now everyone does that. That's the counter.
Yeah.
He normally gets it anyway, but if Cesaro did that, he'd fucking horse his ass up and catch him with an uppercut. It would make that RKO look like a damn joke.
All right, and then moving on, we did.
Oh yeah, one thing. I really thought that another one I got wrong.
Oh yeah. You won you got the ladder match, and that's the only one you got corrected.
That don't even count though. It was already set up for Bryan to win anyway.
Yeah, we all picked Bryan.
But I was thinking that Orton didn't need the win, and it's from my reaction video. I was just like, well, and it wasn't like we talked about it. It's like, well, if he loses, he'll probably be bitter and go cash in. So that was the notion that I had in my head, kind of like.
And now it sets up Extreme Rules main event, which normally Extreme Rules is always rematches from WrestleMania anyways.
Always. So
now that they have kind of ties of, hey, I beat you, now you're the world champion, it kind of puts a little bit nicer of a story arc instead of just like, well, we're still mad at each other. You know, it kind of makes it a little nicer. So I like it in that aspect. But yeah, I mean, Orton wins a Mania all the time. So
does he? He didn't beat the Taker.
He didn't beat Taker, but he did. I remember one year in particular.
He lost last year.
I remember one year in particular. It was Cena and Triple H and Randy Orton, and everyone was talking about who's going to win, Cena or Triple H, and then Randy Orton won. So I think if you beat Cena and Triple H both at Mania, I think you win. That's like all time, like. You're set.
Cena and Triple H.
Yeah, at a main event of Mania. I think you're set for Mania victories. Like,
all he needed to know was to have Roddy Piper in the fucking match.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's set up. Not only do we set up the Extreme Rules, I don't want to see a title match between those two. I'll be honest. I think
especially even with this match so good.
I think the payoff was him getting his revenge, not necessarily getting a match, and maybe getting back his win from the night that he did get taken out.
Yeah.
Because he lost.
Yeah.
Clean as a whistle. And so maybe this becomes the rubber match. You know, Extreme Rules, but he's just going to lose again because they're going to keep that belt on Seth for a while.
Yeah, for sure. And moving on, we had the worst match of all time. Sting versus Triple H.
You want me to talk about this?
Yeah, you can take it.
Yeah, because maybe if I can find it in the editing, I'm gonna put like. It'll be impossible to go through all those podcasts and try to find like you talking about how you're never going to watch wrestling for a year if Sting lost.
Yeah, but come on. Okay, yeah. Explain the match.
So you get Sting, you get Triple H, right? And they're in the ring, and it's a pretty intense match. I'm not going to say that it was a bad match. Sting actually did better than I thought he would do. And he was in great shape, and Triple H, it was back and forth, but for some reason, if you've seen Wrestling Isn't Real, Wrestling Isn't Wrestling by Max Landis, you go watch that, and then, especially the DX Army part, and then come back and watch that, go back and watch the match between Sting. Because it was a real fight. It was a fight. Like, that's the thing what Max was trying to explain. Anytime a real fight came around, you always had someone that would interfere.
Yeah.
And that interference was, seriously, I think all our eyes, what the fuck? Because they didn't, you just hear, are you ready?
Yeah, break it down.
Yeah, break it down. And what? Like, what? So you see DX running, the DX Army.
The Billy Gunn killed it. He full sprint down to the ring, took a bump. Then when they popped back up, he popped back up and took another bump. He took 2 bumps. He could have laid there like the rest of them and just like sold, but no, he took 2 bumps. Shout out to Billy Gunn right now.
Oh, Billy Gunn. My thing is, I have an ass.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's pandemonium, and it's like, what? And Sting's like, what? What is this crap? And then as that's going on, you hear, and it's Nash, fucking Hogan and fucking Scott Hall, old as dirt. And Scott Hall, oh God, he took a bump. He took a fucking...
Hogan took a bump.
Yeah, dude. And I'm like, yo, get fucking X-Pac's hip ass out of there. Like, who's gonna touch him? And it was Hogan that touched him, of all people. Does he have hip?
No.
Fuck.
I mean, I know. X-Pac does do indie dates.
Yeah. I mean, they do it. They got to sign a waiver or something. I mean, that guy is not safe to be in the ring with. He's just not safe.
Yeah.
So for him to even run out and someone even put their hand, I'm not saying he's contagious. I go like, well, you can cut something open. There's a possibility.
Yeah, in a wrestling match. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
But so then all that shit's going out of control. So I guess even though it's old man mania going on, it looks like Sting and Triple H goes back. You think they're just going to resume because like the playing field is balanced. Out of nowhere, a fucking super kick from Shawn Michaels. And it's just like, oh, we've seen this before.
Yeah. Can I
go for it?
This was complete bullshit. This is the worst match of all time. First and foremost, I mean, it's cool that DX came out to save Hunter or whatever. That makes sense. Because Sting obviously shows you that he could take them all out with a big splash off the top rope to the outside. But NWO coming out to save Sting doesn't make any fucking sense compared to storyline. You already know that, Shoot, Hall, and Nash are like best buddies with Hunter. And Hogan was never really aligned with Sting that hard in the first place. So to have them come out makes no fucking sense. And furthermore, whenever Sting was losing, why didn't Ryback, Rowan, and Ziggler come out since he did get him his jobs? That would tie in the storyline from Survivor Series very easily. Why would you have the NWO represent WCW? Everyone knows that that's Hunter's boys, and why wouldn't you tie up everything, especially with Ryback and Rowan, who have been prominent roles in Raw but didn't have any spots really in Mania other than the Battle Royal. So it makes no fucking sense storyline wise. And second of all, why would you bring Sting in if you're not gonna have him win at least one match?
That was awesome. Yeah, it didn't make any sense really at all for the NWO to come out. But like this delusional war that's been over for ages, and it seems that the only person in the room that's willing to let it go is Sting.
Yeah. And Booker T is part of WCW. It was a plot from the beginning. They put Booker T up in the rafters to do the pre-show, man. I bet Booker T was trying to make his way down.
Man, and let's just and this is like, what if? What if Benoit never freaked out? What if Eddie Guerrero never would have lost his life? What if Goldberg was on good terms with WWE?
Oh, imagine if Goldberg's music hit.
And that would have been the thing. That would have made more sense. Those guys are WCW guys. Benoit's a WCW guy.
Yeah.
Guerrero, WCW guy. Goldberg, the face at that time of the company, DDP. And Booker T even for that matter. And even to stretch it out, have you want to do it? Bring out Eric Bischoff. Let him come out and just sort of point to the ring. It's like, go get him, guys. You really want to play it up. But for some reason, it turned into like a cartoon. It turned into wrestling isn't wrestling.
And I'm fine with it being a cartoon, but the fact that it was a cartoon without continuity.
No, not at all, because that was for either Vince McMahon or Kevin Dunn, that was the closing of a chapter to him. And I think even when Sting came in, he agreed that, like, yes, I'm going to lose to Triple H. Because he wasn't going to feed him to Taker. He wasn't going to, hey, sorry, dude, I'm not giving you Taker's streak. I'm saving that for something bigger. But you can have Sting when we get him, right? And he's like, so I get to hit him with my sledgehammer? And which was even crazier. I know we've gone on too long on this one, but, like, I didn't know that this was a no DQ match.
I don't really think they even said anything about that.
Just all of a sudden, a fucking sledgehammer comes out, a bat comes out, he cuts the fucking... that was a pretty cool spot, though.
And Shawn Michaels kicked him right in front of the ref.
Yeah, like, I don't understand. And that was Robinson, too.
Yeah.
Who's a...
WCW... He came over with the invasion angle and with the signing of all the WCW guys. That's like a legit... Like, would not be with the company unless they bought WCW.
Yeah, that you talk about, like, the idea of Sami Zayn stopping the match and stopping the match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and like this huge debacle of what the fuck, man, like he never gave up and stoppage of the match, like what's up with the rules? What's up with these fucking rules? They didn't map out nothing. I just thought it was gonna be mano a mano, and yeah, I can understand the interruptions and all that stuff, but no one touched anybody other than Shawn Michaels kicking Sting.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, the Sting did jump on DX before.
But that's fine. That's the offense.
Yeah.
He's on offense. Because you see that all the time.
Yeah, the big dive spot.
Or just if someone gets up on the apron and the person, I guess, the person they're trying to distract gets a licking, they don't stop the match.
Yeah.
Because you're on offense. But if this guy gets on the apron and goes in and attacks, they ring the bell.
Yeah, stood there staring at him. The ref staring there, saw the kick. No, what the whatever.
As if it was like a mob job. I mean, that's what it seemed like, a mafia job. Like, we set you up.
It does seem like. I think Triple H has wanted to kind of have that like lurking over the whole thing. I really do.
Max Landis wrote this. He had to have written this. That's all I'm saying. He had to have written this. And we'll get into it in the Raw, but like, let's get through the rest of this.
Yeah. Then after that we had
But you're done.
No. Wait. No. But we just explained why it was bullshit. 7-on-1 attack.
For a year, I'm gonna put this on Craigslist. Looking for a podcast partner to discuss wrestling Raw with. It's an opening for the next year. It's just Peter Talks Wrestling with someone. So if you want to join me for the next year, there is an opening. I will change the website too to Peter and whoever qualifies.
Peter and whoever qualifies.
Yeah. TBA, Peter and TBA Talks Wrestling.
Hey guys, just me. 3 months in,
dude, you got to do something. We talked about this when you gave me a ride home. You have to. You don't make that kind of gentleman's bet.
Well, yeah. We'll leave it up to the listeners of the podcast.
He has to take the wheel of punishment. He has to suffer something. He has to do something really embarrassing in order for him not to do it, and it has to happen before Extreme Rules.
So write in, and we'll have a wheel. We'll YouTube it. We'll do all that.
What should Jake do in order not to take back his mulligan? He gets a mulligan, but he has to do something extremely embarrassing.
That's fucking.
And I may, Terrence, if you're listening, Arthur, you're listening, Alexa, Will, Fritz, if you're all listening, Nate, anybody, you're listening. We all need to come together and create a punishment for Jake, because he can't not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, I've already thrown that away. I've already watched like 2-3 wrestling shows.
I know. But you said Raw. You won't watch Raw for a year.
That can't even happen. I realize a crackhead swears off crack every day. That's all I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Well, I could find someone to fill you in for Raw, and you could be Jake Talks SmackDown.
No.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. We did have the best Mania entrance ever.
Oh God. From Triple H?
No.
Alexa called that, by the way.
I'm talking about Rusev.
Oh yeah.
Before he even comes out, it looks awesome. Like I would put it up there with top 10 Mania entrances of all time. With Lana coming out with the with the belt behind her, the big flag, the music playing, and then all of a sudden it cuts to Rusev rolling in on the right side of the screen in a tank.
Bonafide.
In a tank.
Bonafide.
With the flag. I think like 100% of the cheers for Rusev happened right there. They're like, I'm not cheering against the guy who arms a tank. Like,
yeah.
Fuck your sledgehammer, Triple H. Rusev has a tank now.
Dude, and fuck your fake ass skeletons. Fuck all of that shit. That was so lame. That was like over the top.
The Sting thing was like tasteful. The Rusev thing was cool because it was like done up just like the character, but like coming up to kind of publicize some movie deal looking all lame. Triple H,
they did it up. That was the funniest. If Rusev, seriously, I think hands down the greatest WrestleMania entrance of all time. I mean, like you could talk about your Hulk Hogan's and your this and your that and your Macho Man's. I'm talking about just straight up like just production and arrangements and how everything was set up. Just how everything was set up. It's probably hands down the best.
Yeah.
The best. And you couldn't have done it any better with those two, with Lana and then the soldiers. Very so like propaganda-ish sort of shit, man. That was awesome. And I hope someone comes out with like an image of Rusev on the tank. Like one of those old school like propaganda photos with the hard angles. Yeah, that would be dope. I would wear that on a shirt.
But then when we get to the ring, it was a typical Cena match other than one spot in particular. You know what I'm talking about? The springboard catch-em DD or
stunner.
Springboard stunner to Rusev.
I've seen him do that.
All the internet fans or what have you who are booing Cena all kind of were looking at each other like, wait, did Cena just do something awesome? We're just not going to talk about it. It just kind of put like a hush over the crowd, kind of like we're not going to cheer that because we don't want to boo it either.
You heard like it was like whoa, but I've seen him do. He's actually done that on Punk before.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it's credit to Rusev. For taking that, and he sold it like a champ. It was really cool, and just seeing it in general, he really did an awesome job. I another one I got wrong.
Yeah.
Rusev, it was a great match. I think in terms of like straight up battle, like a wrestling match, the best of the night. It was the best.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think it had the crowd so worked up. I mean, it's just something about Cena in a ring, man, and Rusev can hold his own, and he's also trying to remind them that no, you're rooting against me. I am the Russian. I hate America, right? And you see him trying, like really getting his heel heat out as a fucking Russian sympathizer, right? And the crowd's like, this happens all the time. Like, oh yeah, boo, USA. Yeah. That's how polarizing of a figure John Cena is, dude. And it's so impressive.
This is true. And then after that we have
oh yeah, by the way, how did he win? He lost to 1 AA.
Yeah, he lost to 1 AA.
It was fucking AA.
Other than that one spot that you said he's pulled it out on Punk before and everything like that.
And Rusev and Lana takes a bump.
That's how he actually Yeah,
it was a distraction bump.
Rusev, gets distracted by Lana. Lana ends up falling off the apron into an AA. Cena wins. Rusev walks away, leaving Lana there. The refs help Lana, but Lana doesn't get any support from Rusev. So that's kind of teasing something there. Or I guess they weren't really. I think they were just trying to get heat from the crowd there with that. But
maybe. I mean, but still, you're talking about like the whole thing is that they don't show affection.
Yeah.
Either. They're very cold people, and I don't see how he could get heat on that because she's just as cold. Maybe since when she started to care for him, when Cena had him in that fucking tight, finally snug STF, and she's, please, John Cena, stop. That was the first time she showed any kind of raw emotion. So maybe they're running with this. Maybe she's starting to care for Rusev more and more, because even before, when she first got in, she never really worked. She didn't earn her money. She just stood on the outside and said crush. Then you get it. Now she's getting on the apron. Now she's, giving out matches. She took a bump.
Yeah.
She was willing to sacrifice her body. So maybe she's about to turn face, and you're gonna get
a face Lana, but with the heel Rusev.
Yeah,
and
this is because Lana's over.
Yeah.
And Rusev is over as a heel, but he can get even more heat on some Macho Man. Not really.
No, I know what you're saying. Like not Macho Man Randy said, but some like Macho Bull. Yeah. Like,
how about this? When Daniel Bryan and AJ Lee was in their outs, when he started getting mean on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And then we had the. I feel weird explaining it, but like Ronda Rousey popped in the ring with The Rock. That
was pretty funny.
That was pretty fucking.
Well, we all had this idea that they were gonna sort of hog as much space up as possible to get darker, but that was an impossible cause. I mean, just ain't gonna.
I think that's what I think when they wrote it out, that's what they planned it for. But then as day of, I don't think they
milk it. Rock milk it, because that for him to walk out the ring and walk over, because I was like, man, he's going over to Ronda, because basically he comes out. And they're going to do the whole thing between him and Triple H. Is it going to be Triple H and Rock, or Rock and Brock? I mean, how are we going to do SummerSlam or?
Yeah.
We don't know. But they come out, McMahon and Triple H. They come out and they're talking the accolades of, all the success of WrestleMania weekend, how many people showed up, how the Access thing turned out, all the great charities that they've done, and they said, because we did it. It's because of us. And that's when, because at first it's almost like, dude, you're trying to get like face heat right now. But then all of a sudden they switch it up on some like, yeah, because of us, right? Mm-hmm. And that's when the heel heat started going out and boo, and this, blah, 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 blah. And then The Rock comes out. And he's on some like, how dare you shit on the people kind of thing. The people.
Yeah.
The people.
The voice of the people, yeah.
Yeah, she, emasculating moment of the night, just cut him down, just ran him down and smacked the shit out of him. And what are you going to do? And it was basically like Big Show all over again. What are you going to do? Cry like a baby? And once you think about it, you go like, wow, he must really be invested in the WWE, because he's a multi-mega star. And Stephanie McMahon has the liberty to just smack him, and it's completely fine, and talk and dog him.
Well, his mom,
like he ain't nothing.
I mean, he grew up there. He was literally born as a superstar.
I know. So. But there's no separation, because like you look at this little, this little not necessarily a little company, but look at this person, and you got an exec job at this wrestling promotion. This guy is the biggest box office draw in the world right now, right?
Sure.
So, you just see him taking this abuse as this guy. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm Dwayne Johnson. Do you know who you're talking to?
Sure.
Triple H is just off to the side, because this is Stephanie's moment. She's becoming a new Vince. She really is playing the role. She smacks him. What are you going to do? Cry like a baby? What are you going to do? You're going to hit a woman? You're going to hit a woman? And then he just sort of backs off, walks out of the ring, kind of strolls over. And I was like, he's walking over to Ronda Rousey. He's standing in front of Ronda Rousey. And the cameraman kept her off. Yeah. I was like, that's Ronda Rousey. Oh, shit. It's a Ronda Rousey spot. Mm-hmm. She gets in the ring, and they go back and forth. She looks like a natural, and all hell breaks loose.
All hell. Arm takedowns Triple H, and then does she take down Stephanie too?
She hip tosses him, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think The Rock set her up, and then she hip tosses her, and then she hip tosses Triple H, and then she gets Stephanie into like this weird arm thing. It looked awkward. It looked awkward more than anything.
Yeah.
Because she fell, she picked her back up.
Because if she really wanted to, I mean, I'd be scared she grabbed my arm like that because
Stephanie's bruised.
Yeah.
Yeah. She couldn't have done much.
That's why she felt. She was like, okay, the spot's over.
No.
It's like, oh, okay, this is fun. No, I'm going down. No, you're not going down.
You're not going down. But it was so awkward because I was thinking she was going to take her down to a certain degree.
But that's the money. I think they're going to try to save that if they're doing anything more.
No.
Because she tweeted out like, want to come back, blah, blah, blah. She had already been at SummerSlam. She's already a fan. You can tell she's kind of a nerd because she had the Dragon Ball Z shirt at a WrestleMania show.
Then the full horsewomen thing going on because they were at a show. I think was it the New Jersey show they were at with Jon Stewart was there. I think they were there, and they show up every once in a while, and they always give them credit, like shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
But all I could think is, if they try to pull that off, Stephanie's gonna have an ace in the hole. Like something's gonna have to go down to where she's gonna have to go over on Rousey. She's gonna have to. She's gonna have to, and it's Triple H. It's like another Triple H, just like when she faced Brie Bella. Yes, when she faced Brie Bella, and then her ace up a hole was Nikki.
Yeah.
She's Vince.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But if you bring her in, I wouldn't have her lose. That's just it.
Not lose, but I don't think she would take the pin or what have you. I think she would just get out of the match somehow, a coward.
I mean, maybe. Who knows? That's all speculation.
But I imagine Ronda Rousey can be, when she's done with her MMA career, she could be the Brock Lesnar of.
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Especially if you're already a fan.
But you gotta have someone there to counter that, somewhat.
I think Nikki Bella. I think you have the Hollywood versus UFC. You have like kind of the.
This is why Brock destroyed. Even though he lost, won.
Reigns.
Destroyed Cena.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he destroyed Cena. This is why he destroyed Reigns.
And that's what people would want to see.
But I don't think. I mean, it's one thing to have an MMA fight and you have two fighters in the ring. When you have a fighter in the ring with a wrestler in the Divas division, it would look weird. It would look really awkward. Mm-hmm. So you would have to, if they want to shift it, try to bring in more MMA fighters and take themselves away from female wrestlers. You see what I'm saying? Like it would be awkward. I mean, bring back fucking Karma.
Well, I think you're kind of underplaying Ronda. I think she's kind of sexy a little bit. I think she would work. She's dangerous. she's as dangerous as Brock Lesnar. That's what I'm getting at. She knows what.
And it'd be hard for me to take her take anyone in the ring with her. It's hard enough to take Cena.
She'd be the Goldberg. She'd destroy all the.
Yeah,
which is what you'd want to see. Which is what would be the money.
Yeah. But like, someone had to. It would have to be a balance. Someone would have to beat her. Look believable enough to beat her. Like who? Charlotte Flair?
No. You have like. Nikki with Brie and tied into the Authority and all this kind of hoopla to help that.
Then Ronda would be a face, obviously.
Yeah, Ronda would be a face. Yeah, Ronda would be a face against the Authority, and Stephanie, Brie, and Nikki would be the three ladies trying to attack her. And she would
destroy them, even if it was a real.
Yeah, you even have with the Authority, you have spots where she takes down J&J. You have spots where she fucking hip tosses maybe Kane or Big Show. You have those spots. Like I'm saying, like you could do big things and cover, and it would end up benefiting like Nikki's character of being like kind of like the ultimate diva. Like the whole not like the diva as terms of like a female wrestler, but like a diva in terms of like what it means. Kind of full of herself. But I don't know, man. Moving on, we had a Bray.
And yes, I had Sting winning, and
everyone had Sting winning on that one, so we all lost right there.
But whatever.
And me and Alexa had Taker winning, which he did, and you had Bray. Actually, I think we all.
I had Bray winning.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I had American Badass coming out of there.
Yeah, you had Bray, which did not happen. Taker. I mean, it's an anomaly, but he does not lose at Mania. He only comes back once a year. I don't remember too much. I watched the match twice, and I don't really remember too much about it. It was kind of slow. What really got the crowd going was he had him in the Sister Abigail at one point, and then Taker caught him for the chokeslam spot, and that really got the crowd going. But until that spot, the crowd was dead.
Taker looked woozy. I mean, he looked old.
Yeah.
He looked like an old man in the ring.
I think they're going to keep pushing it until something kind of happens with him. But nothing really to say about that match. Good. Taker came out, everyone cheered. Everyone.
Bray Wyatt hits hard.
Yeah, he kind of ran at him a little bit. But let's just. The real talk is the main event. It was fucking awesome.
What do we do with Bray Wyatt?
What do we do with Bray? I mean,
another big spot. He loses.
I mean, I'm not.
It sucks. It sucks because I really thought he was gonna this was gonna be the moment for
The
him.
thing is, I think they think that, but they just don't want to pull the trigger. They don't want to have him beat Cena at Mania. They don't want to have him beat Taker at Mania, but they just want to put him in the ring with him, and they think that's going to be enough, and it's not going to be enough. They take away Harper and Rowan. They take away his lackeys, which I think hurts the character. How are you going to have a cult leader without people that he leads? You know, like in storyline, I guess, like he's saying his fans now.
But that's the thing. He's switching up his cult leader status to being a god.
Yeah,
he wants to be a god.
Well, that's like kind of like I think that that play I think that all plays into it, but I don't know what they do. Maybe they kind of lowered Sting down a little bit with losing to Triple H. Maybe Sting Bray.
For Sting to win?
For Sting to win,
Let's move on.
For Sting to get his heat back up to wrestle Taker next year.
Sting has to go through the authority to get back to Triple H if that's the case. He has to take out the Big Show. He has to take out Kane. He has to take out those guys. He has to take out those lackeys that are basically behind.
And then we have the main event where Brock Lesnar, super over, comes out. Everyone's going nuts. Reigns comes through the crowd.
Botch pyro.
Slightly, yeah. But what can you do? But Reigns comes out through the crowd, but kind of crowd doesn't really give a fuck.
He shoves a dude.
Yeah, people are trying to piss off Reigns right here, and you can kind of tell no one really, other than girls in the crowd, no one really wanted Reigns to win. They're just watching, and for the most part, Lesnar just destroys Reigns. For the most part, they kind of play that there's going to be a babyface comeback, but
bloody. You got bloody from the start.
Yeah. It looks real brutal, just like every Brock Lesnar match does. But then all of a sudden, right when Reigns finally kind of takes down Lesnar, Rollins' music comes out. He runs down the ring, cashes it in. It becomes a three-way, and after curb stomping both of them, Rollins pins Roman Reigns to get the belt, and then he runs up the ramp like the shithead he is, holds up the belt for everyone.
He hauls ass.
Yep, and
only to be met with J&J.
I don't care if you hate Rollins, you have to love this storyline. You have to love the old school swerve. It hasn't happened. A swerve like that hasn't happened in Mania since I think Vince aligned himself with Stone Cold in 17.
And that was horrible.
And that was 17. So what are we saying? That's 13, 14 years ago. So this was great. And it made, think about it, it made you care about Lesnar turn into a babyface. It made you care about Rollins because obviously he's the shithead heel. And it gives Roman a reason to chase after the belt. And I guess it was designed to have you care a little bit about Roman Reigns, but he gets pinned and he kind of gets, I would say, lost in the shuffle because you definitely everyone loves Lesnar.
Reigns gets lost in the shuffle?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
Because I think.
Well, what I was gonna say was because ideally you're pissed at Rollins for going in, ruining the main event, and having the belt now. You want Lesnar to whoop Rollins' ass because he took his belt and didn't even pin him. But the guy who was challenging for the belt in the first place, who then ended up losing in the first place, theoretically, if Rollins is gonna pin you, Lesnar's gonna pin you too. I think the term buried does get thrown around too much, and I definitely don't want to say it here, but I want to say lost in the shuffle. Coming out of this, you're going to cheer Brock, and you're going to theoretically boo Rollins, unless you just love Rollins' character so much that you didn't cheer him because of his, how he portrays it. But Roman, you didn't really. I don't know. No heat really got on Roman in this match.
Well, he gained a lot of respect from a lot of people to be able to take that ass whooping that he did. And that little flurry, I think everyone got worried when that flurry happened. When he super punches him like 3 times.
Yeah. And
then he spears him like two times. People got scared. I mean, we were in there, oh my God, it's gonna happen. Yeah. It's gonna happen, and it had us. And it's like, how you can't take away from he still made us react. And that's the job of the wrestler. Whether you like him or not, whether you think he's ready or not, what he performed in there was something great. And for him to take an ass whooping like he did was great. And I always see it like a rite of passage. It's like, well, we're going to make you the guy. It's almost like joining a gang. It's like, in order to join this gang, we got to beat the living shit out of you. Because you'll never see another ass whooping again hanging with us. Right? And I think that's what that was for Roman Reigns. And it's a humbling experience. I think everyone wanted to see him humbled. But he had his shot at the title. Now, to say that he got lost in the shuffle, I understand. I can see that. But he lost his opportunity. He had his opportunity to win. It's gone. Now, it is about Lesnar and Reigns and Rollins, because that's like the second or third time that Rollins has been a thorn in his side, And you know what? That would make such an amazing feud in itself, because it's like, you pesky little fucker, but I'm impressed by your little pesky ass too. Almost like when they did the Connecticut spot where he's gonna have to take me out of this seat. Brock shows up. He gets out of the chair and he knocks the chair over. Yeah, he doesn't. He's entertained by him to a certain extent, Even though he's pissed, you took my title, you asshole, right? Mm-hmm. But he's entertained by him too, because Cena didn't entertain him. Reigns kind of entertained him, but he's extremely entertained by Rollins. So what happens with Reigns? They're gonna keep him. They're going to keep it at the top of the card, but now you see redemption. This is what everyone wanted. It's too fast, too quick, too fast, too soon, and now knock him down a notch and have him start from square one. Maybe win the title from Cena. Maybe win the U.S. title from Cena, I don't know. There's a lot of dudes he still can take out at near the top or at the top of the card.
Yeah. And if you look at Rollins' year, from being in the Shield to dismantling the Shield to having every main event match he was in a pay-per-view was great. Every non-main event match he had in a pay-per-view was great with him and Dean.
He's been in every main event other than the Rumble. No. Ever since he split up, he's been in every main event.
Because him and Dean had a few lumberjack matches.
That was the main event.
No, it wasn't. Him and Dean had one the Cell match was the main event, but
the Cell match was the main event.
But he's definitely. Everyone was so worried about Reigns becoming the guy that no one thought, well, they're actually making Rollins too, And that's exactly what happened. Or I guess maybe they did think of it, but I didn't ever pick up on maybe that being an overwhelming thought amongst the fans. But this, like we said, this is one of the best Manias of all time. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. And
that was awesome. And it's funny too, because you look at the cash in from Ziggler from 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. That happened the day after Raw on Del Rio. It's like that was that when I watch that clip, it gives me chills. How big of a pop that was.
Yeah.
I don't even get him down the ramp. I just go, I'm here. Wow! It's like, whoa!
Everyone knew.
It took a second for people to realize when his music hit. It was like this sort of 2-second delay of a reaction, because it was like, what? You couldn't have plotted that any better. So yeah, man, he had the belt. He got to hang out on the Today Show. And as I was listening to one podcast, I think it was the PW Torch, and it was the guy was like, spoiler alert. Yeah, the spoiler alert was that whoever won the belt was going to show up on the Today Show. It's one's going to be Brock. That fucker's not flying to New York. He's not going to fly to New York and back to California. So that was a spoiler alert from the beginning,
I didn't pick up on it. Well, I thought if Brock won, he might not even be on Raw. I mean, I didn't know what was. I didn't even think about that. I guess that's why he is who he is.
And speaking of that, Raw.
Oh, amazing!
The
did not disappoint one bit.
Raw after Mania. That motherfucker shows up. It's like he hadn't even bathed. It was almost like it's almost like he hadn't washed off.
Ooh, Lesnar?
Yeah.
Well, to kick off Raw, Lesnar just comes out. Did you see the I'm a Hogan guy sign from Mania still there? The boom 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 sign guy was still there. So it was kind of fun to see. Like, it seemed that everyone just kept partying up from Mania into the night, and then Raw kept happening because you saw the Hogan guy, the guy who was dressed as Hogan, was still set up. People still had the same signs. People were going crazy. Lots of celebrities and stuff in the crowd.
And Brock Lesnar coming out as if he didn't take a bath.
Suplex City chants, which is hilarious.
Suplex City, bitch. And we forgot to mention that in the Wrestlemania. But yeah, that was awesome. That was great.
Heyman even says it. Suplex City, bitch. He just
they're gonna make that shirt.
Well, Pro Wrestling Tees already has it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think they had it before Raw. Like, theoretically, you could have worn that shirt to Raw, or maybe to at least a taping this week.
Wow. Or some screen printers just went home, just started knocking them shits out.
Before Ron's pinned them, they had those shirts probably.
They had them made. But he doesn't have a shirt on. He's still bloodied up. It's still like dry. It's still like dry blood on his face, as if he just came out and he was just not over the match yet. He was so fucking pissed off. So he comes out, and Heyman does all the talking, and I don't know. He starts off with a PG ass kicker of the PG era, and he talks about the Mania match, and then all of a sudden the Suplex City chants go up, and within the promo, Heyman talks about how he's about to lawyer up. Basically, I hate having to say lawyer. It's like Lowry, but he's lawyering up to that he can do all these things to say there was a breach in contract and take it to the high court and all this stuff. But he's not, because Brock wants to fight, basically. And he has a rematch clause that he wants to invoke right now.
Yeah.
And place goes nuts. For the first time in, 10 years?
They said that, first time in 10 years Brock was going to have a match on Raw. I remember his debut on Raw. He came out and destroyed, I think it was Spike Dudley, threw him just dropped him on a trash can, just picked him up by his neck. Not even a choke slam, just like a Khali kind of move, but it was Brock Lesnar. So well, that's just going back in time. But that was pretty fucking I love this first segment. It kicked things off.
Yeah, but he wanted his rematch right now, and everyone goes crazy. All of a sudden, Stephanie comes out,
of course,
to address the whole thing, and she comes out to Rousey chants. She basically threatens the crowd. She's like, "Hey, y'all gonna fuck with me? You have an opportunity to see a match right now with Brock Lesnar. So you're gonna keep fucking with me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you to fuck off. So, and you're not gonna get this match." Place went fucking crickets. Probably the only moment in the night where the crowd shut up.
It's like a teacher calming down a whole classroom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can give you guys a pop quiz. Okay.
Hey, yo, that
Miss
place,
McMahon.
That place, you could hear a pin drop after she said that shit. And she addresses the idea that Seth Rollins isn't in the building, and that because he was on the Today Show, the plug, the Today Show, that he's on his flight now back to California, and when he gets back, you had your match. Mm-hmm. And basically he announces that Brock will fight Raw for the first time in 10 years, and that's how it ends. Yeah. But man, that dude,
You set the tone. Like, right there, you can already tell he's super over with the crowd.
God.
Right there, you can already tell it's going to be one of those Raws after Manias. Like, right then and there, I was stoked on this Raw. And then they announced that Cena, now being the U.S. champ, has an open challenge pushed out, and that they're going to do Bryan versus Ziggler, which was pretty awesome. And then the next match, Bryan and Ziggler, bad news on commentary. Really good match. Puts in the surfboard, people go fucking nuts, and then he kind of lays it in there, grabs the neck, and pulls it down, which is always a good technique to do when you really are trying to show and you lay in the surfboard there. Headbutt battle was pretty fucking awesome, and then Bryan wins, retaining the IC title. Bad News attacks him after the match though, and then all of a sudden Peter's dreams come true, and we have a heel Sheamus come out and attack Ziggler and Bryan. And I think he attacks Bad News as well, or does Bad News?
Everyone goes out.
Yeah, and then sitting there
because he takes out Bad News first. Because you think he's in for the save.
Yeah. Okay. So he takes out Bad News, takes out Bryan, takes out Ziggler. He's got a gigantic mohawk, braided beard. The crowd chants, "You look stupid," but he just like loves it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I look stupid." Oh, just he's taking out their heroes. Of course, they're gonna just try to attack him with whatever they can do, but they couldn't do shit. What do you think about this new heel Sheamus?
Well, Sheamus is super over in Europe. That's one of the things. His entire existence, fighting wherever the fuck he fought in the UK, he was always a babyface. Like Del Rio. Like, those two guys were babyfaces before coming to the WWE as heels. Weird, right? Because it's like Del Rio works best as a heel.
Yeah.
And Sheamus works amazingly better as a heel. But to comment on the match, it looked like they argued before they came out. It was like a heated argument or something. Like it didn't look like a match. It looks really stiff. Like it was one point where you could see there was a little bit of a clusterfuck of exchanges, and you see like raw emotion, no pun intended. You see raw emotion from Daniel Bryan, and then you see all of a sudden raw emotion from Ziggler, and the way that they're hitting each other, the way they're attacking each other, and like it's almost as if they're really angry at each other. Did you pick up on that at all?
Well, yeah, I would just call it good wrestling, and that's like that's exactly.
They looked pissed. Like they looked generally pissed, but it was almost as if Bryan instigated it. I think Bryan instigated it. I think it was like, get your head out of your ass. And it was a potato. Like, it was like a potato of a fucking hit that he gave him. And it was almost like, yeah, we're going here. Right? Yeah. And then Ziggler's like, all right, bam. Right? You see him come back, and it was like the struggle. It just looked like a real fight. Now, you take two spot gods, right? These guys can go out and probably just do spot after spot after spot. And, they're spot freaks, and they always want to talk about, oh, we're going to steal the show. But I think this was a convincing battle between the two of them, not just to steal the show, but to bring the best out of each other. And that's what that fucking match was. Like, I'm going to fucking bring the best out of you, and you better try your fucking best to bring the best out of me. And I mean, like, I'm sitting there like, oh my God, these motherfuckers are so mad at each other right now. I could only imagine what was the psychology. Did it come from backstage, or did it happen like sort of spontaneously in the ring? But Bryan instigated.
Bryan's been known to work stiff throughout the indies and everything, and I think you get kind of swept up in the moment. You try to make it look as good as possible.
And that headbutt stuff, he hits him with a pile driver during the break, a mini pile driver,
yeah.
And then that headbutt stuff, and we've talked about this. Maybe I talked about Nate with this. It's like every time, or even Alexa, every time I see Daniel Bryan in a match, I cringe because of the fact that he's had this neck surgery. Stone Cold would have never done it. He never did anything that risked his neck after his surgery, right? No, hell no. He changed up his whole shit to stay away from his neck. Daniel Bryan is doing any and everything to expose his neck, right? So if he agrees to take a mini pile driver from Ziggler, and then to have a vicious headbutt session before he got the win, it's like, what's going on in your mind? Is that like, is this the mode that Daniel Bryan is just stuck in? You know, what are they gonna do to him? Like, what are they gonna do? Like, look, Bryan, chill. Or they're like, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they've been talking to Bryan about this, or I don't know much about this particular subject, but I know they've had problems with this before with guys like Angle and even what you call it, Wolverine. Oh, fuck. Chris Benoit.
Yeah, because his concussions.
Well, I was gonna say they never talked to him. Where I know Angle, I know that there's rumors that the offices were like, no, you're not healthy. You need to calm down. That's what led to him going to TNA.
Intervention.
Yeah, they kind of were trying to give him one of those, but then he ended up going to TNA. Yeah. So I think that's something that the company really tries to watch out after now. So I don't know. I just love this match. I thought it was pretty awesome. Hopefully they do.
It was crazy. And what I see, and the moral of the story is, what is this IC belt now? Is this IC belt a wrestling belt now? Is this going to be the wrestler's belt now? Because you got the WWE belt, and that's all well and good. You got Cena with the US belt. Like, who's to say what's going to become of it? Cena's got it. Obviously, it's not going to be a wrestler's belt. But I see the IC belt being it's going to be the new cruiserweight.
That's kind
belt.
of what it's always had been with, like the Ricky Steamboats, the Bret Harts,
But these guys always had an eye on the title. These guys always had an eye on the title. They get it, and it's like, well, they are a contender to the, I'm next man up, right? Even though Steamboat never won the title, did he? No, he never won the title.
Well, he did shake Bryan's hand, so I assume he did, but I'm not.
No, he never won the title.
That was before I was.
I think he probably had a shot at it and lost. But
well, no, that's what Mania 3.
Yeah.
Steamboat and Randy Savage was for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, but I'm talking about for the WWE belt.
Oh, well, I thought you were talking about the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, the Intercontinental. I said the person, normally, say before the Ruthless Aggression era, or even before the Ruthless Aggression era, whoever had the Intercontinental belt, whether it was Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Randy Savage, all those guys were next in line to win the big belt, right? Mm-hmm. And this has been one of my things about Daniel having the belt. It's like, well, this is going to be the first time, you remember me talking about this, that there's someone who's a formidable contender for the WWE belt, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't think that's the case anymore. I think I think it's going to be a while that he gets a shot at the title again. And what's going to happen with the Intercontinental belt is that it's going to become the new cruiserweight belt. And it's going to be wrestling, some of the best wrestling you ever see.
Yeah.
But that's that ceiling that the cruiserweights had. Even though they could put on these awesome matches and it looked amazing, they never ever were given a shot at the title. So you just get this wrestling match for the cruiserweight belt. You want to see these guys with the heavyweight belt. And that's the thing. Like,
it's one night into it, so we gotta wait. This is all speculation.
I see it, dude. They would have never done it that way if that wasn't the case. That's their ceiling. I feel like that's Bryan's ceiling right now. That's Ambrose's ceiling. That's Ziggler's ceiling right now. That's Harper's ceiling right now. That's everyone that's within that fucking ladder match. That's their ceiling. They will never, ever, ever, really ever get a shot at the belt unless Yes Movement version 2 happens.
I mean, version 1's still going down, so I don't know. Then next we had Kid and Cesaro and the Ascension versus the New Day, Big E and Kofi, with the Lucha Dragons premiering on Raw. Lucha Dragons super over with this insider crowd because they went to NXT. Anybody who was in NXT was super over with this crowd. And Kalisto definitely delivered with a like double wraparound head scissor spot to Cesaro, which was pretty awesome.
Kudos to Cesaro. It almost looked like it was about to fall apart, but Cesaro saved it.
Oh yeah, great spot there. And then, but I was really surprised with the kind of clapping that the New Day does. To like boom, boom, boom. Started this New Day suck. Yeah, and that just, I mean, that was like a stamp right there that they are done. Even when Kofi,
boom drop, yeah.
Yeah, even when Kofi gets tagged in, they boo him. And I think it was either Xavier Woods or someone said, "Come on, y'all, this is Kofi Kingston." One of them said, one of the guys in the New Day yelled, "Come on, this is Kofi Kingston," and that's exactly what I fucking thought.
It's the gimmick, dude.
Yeah, I was just like, well, I don't know, man. I can't boo a performer in the ring based on a gimmick. Like when I'm watching them wrestle, that's them. That's their time to be them.
It's an activist move. Like what's happening with the New Day is an activist move, and it has nothing to do with Big E. If they want to take it personally, they don't.
Did you see the tweet that Big E posted? He was like, "New Day sucks up all the negativity and throws it up back at you."
Yeah, whatever, dude. Yeah. That's stupid. But
I thought it was a good way to say
it's if anything, they're on their side. They're like, "Look, dude, no. If we can boo this gimmick away from you guys, then maybe we'll get something else." But like, this is an active movement to get whoever the fuck creative is behind this to just drop it. Just drop this. This is a waste of these workers' time. It's a waste of our fucking time. And even when Kofi Kingston does the boom drop, he goes, "New Day," and everyone just collectively sucks.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa, like they normally they will rehearse something like that, but they were just like everyone was on the same accord, and but this ultimately was about Kalisto. This was the breakout for Kalisto.
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, Rey Mysterio. Hey, this is the new Rey.
Yeah, he wins with the Selena del Sol, and yeah, I really do feel like the Lucha Dragons is his team. I mean, like Sin Cara is already a failed experiment. He kind of just lucked up going back to NXT and happening to fall in line with a tag team with Kalisto. I think Kalisto, like you said, Kalisto is the new Rey.
He's the star. I mean, they've been grooming him for a while.
Which is not to say that Sin Cara is a bad wrestler at all, but he just is already a failed experiment. He's got the swagger. He's got the swagger stamp on him. You know, like Swagger already won. Okay, well we've already seen you, dude, but hang on to the job, buddy. Be a tag team with Kalisto, and you'll do your thing.
And it works because again, like they look like a tag team, and it's actually doing him more justice being in that tag team. Now, I'm not saying he's the Marty Jannetty here. I mean, it's Hunico. Hunico's a beast. He's probably one of the better wrestlers on the on the roster. But it's that character that is Sin Cara has worked itself into this sort of
kind of a new life, I would say.
Well, but he ended up there because he worked himself into like this sort of superstars guy, you know? And it's not his fault. It's not Sin Cara's fault. It's the other guy. It's Mystico's fault. You know? And the handling of it is just all went bad. But like, you know what? He's a soldier. I don't see him as keeping his job as much as he's a soldier. I think he likes being Sin Cara. I think he likes working with Kalisto. He's making the best out of something. And you know what? Just as much as Kalisto is about to be like a big star, at some point they're gonna get him out of that mask. And he's going to feud with Kalisto. And he's going to put Kalisto over.
Yeah.
Like, this is all about Kalisto. This is the new Rey. This is the brand new Rey. And this is basically to the world, and everyone lost their shit. And he performed at such a high level. Kudos to pulling. And, you know, it doesn't stop there, man. It doesn't stop there with Raw. In terms of, like, hey, here's this guy.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, they cut to the back, and Brock and Heyman are back there, and Heyman walks up to him and just says, "He's here," which then goes to...
God, he's pissed.
Yeah, then Brock is, fucking pissed. I actually wrote that in my notes. Brock versus Rollins. Brock comes out. Rollins comes out.
We get a Neville vignette, though.
Yeah, and I already made mention of this on the interview I did with Nick. But Rollins is the third guy who's been a Ring of Honor champion and now is the WWE World Champion. You had CM Punk was the first, then Bryan, and now Rollins, which is pretty cool, especially for this independent, this I would say insider type crowd.
OVW.
Yeah. Well,
it is. It's a farm. That's what that was. That's what FCW was. Farms. They were farm leagues for the fucking WWE.
Oh, Rollins was not even in.
I know he's RH. I'm saying RH is the new OVW. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. I would admit.
Fuck around and Samoa Joe's gonna get that belt.
The world title?
Oh yeah,
dude,
that would be awesome.
That would be fucking sick.
That'd be great. That'd be a big fuck you to Dixie Carter too.
But then Lesnar just starts trying to attack Rollins. Rollins kind of slips out of a F5 spot for the double clothesline, taking out both J&J security.
Oh god.
And he tosses. Okay, this starts like.
Wait. Before we gotta see the build up because Brock losing his mind it stemmed from them coming out. And Rollins just gets up in his face like, hey, I got the belt, you jackass. What you gonna do?
I did forget about that.
What you got, son? That's basically what happened.
He should have, smacked the belt out of his head. Something.
Dude, he's entertained by this. That's what I'm saying. I think Brock is just so entertained by this. It's almost like, let me watch this small thing act tough. That's cool to him.
Kind of like how older ladies love the little yip yip dogs. Yeah.
It makes the feast that much more. Yeah. Bountiful.
The snake eats rats. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes snap, and he's like, yeah, and he gets in his face, he doesn't even touch him. You're thinking that he would just be like, no fear. No fear at all. He just gets in his fucking face. He puts the belt in, and then he comes back in his face again. What you gonna do, fool? What you gonna do? I thought that was the crowd is losing it. The crowd is like, oh my god, you're gonna get destroyed right now. And then I'll let you finish, but I just thought that I'll bring that up because I thought that was so fascinating. This fucker, he has that asshole in him, man. He does it to it's like a fine wine with steak and a blowjob.
Yeah, and then after that, he narrowly escapes the F5. Like I said before, J&J security gets taken out with a double clothesline, which looks brutal, but
he tells him he has to get his rematch. Yeah, he's like, you know what? You're not gonna get your rematch tonight. Eat a dick.
Yeah, he kind of did. Yeah,
and that's why he attacks everyone.
Yeah, he dips out of there and everything, and then that's when Lesnar's going nuts. He grabs Mercury and just throws. I don't know if Mercury kind of jumped just to be
Nope.
He just tossed him over the U.S. announce table, and then he keeps going over the Spanish announce table and lands somewhere in this debris area, some chairs. He just you don't see Mercury. Mercury's wearing black clothes, gets thrown into some black abyss. He's just laid out with some chairs.
See him.
And then I think Noble maybe takes an F5 or just gets laid out.
No, he gets thrown first because it's Noble that gets flung first, and then it's Mercury that gets flung second.
Okay, yeah. So and then all of a sudden he grabs a table, and it wasn't let's take the monitors out, let's slowly build this table spot. He just heaves it at the announcers, taking out Booker T. They show Booker T over there doing a great sell.
That was later, yeah.
Yeah. And then he grabs Michael Cole.
Michael Cole tries to run out. Apparently, he must have slid out before, he must have either crawled out, because we don't know how he ends up there. It's just all of a sudden, he's in Brock Lesnar's palm, right?
They must have obviously known what they were doing here. This crowd, Lesnar, F5, and Cole is the best thing that this crowd could have seen. No one,
why did he run to Lesnar though? That's the thing. I get it. But why did he run? He ran towards him. It wasn't like he turned him around. It was almost like maybe he tried to run around him or something. I don't know. Or maybe he was delusional. Who knows?
I could see, just maybe in the chaos of the moment or whatever.
Yeah, and he runs to Lesnar, and he doesn't grab him. He catches him with his palm. Yeah. And he palms the top of his head like a basketball. Right? Yeah. And I just go whoa.
And then this was the best F5 I've ever seen. Yeah, okay. Lesnar, if we didn't say before, Lesnar F5's Michael Cole.
But he thinks about it first.
It's hilarious.
And that's the thing, too. And that's to be brought up. Because when he grabs him, and then he, kind of puts him on the apron, and he sits there for like 15 seconds, right? And everyone's like losing their shit, and he's thinking about it. He's like, should I do this? You know, and he's like, fuck it. He shoves him into it was like a fuck it moment, and he shoves Michael Cole into the ring, and he heaves him up. At first, I don't see Michael Cole's face the entire time, you know, during the struggle and him deciding. I'm like, well, who is this? Is this the ring announcer? I mean, the ring announcer or the bell keeper?
Yeah.
I don't know that it's Michael Cole until he's in the air.
I could just tell by the reaction of the people, and then the fact that it was just a guy in a suit, and they were already. I guess I just wanted to be Michael Cole so bad.
Yeah.
I had no like confirmed. I just knew it was Cole.
I didn't know it was Cole until he was in the air.
And then, he spreads out like flat, like a big X, and he's literally like 3-4 feet above Lesnar.
Like a flying squirrel. He's still floating in space as we speak.
Yeah, and then Lesnar's not stops there. He F5.
Oh yeah, I got the photo of my Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I mean, a beautiful shot. Like it's Cole. Like, and it's because he's so light. You know, like that's how strong Lesnar is. It was the perfect F5.
Oh yeah. And then after that, he F5s the camera guy twice, I think. Kind of set up spot right there with the camera guy filming and everything. Stephanie comes out and suspends Brock indefinitely for destroying everything. Leaving the announcers laying.
She loses her mind.
And apparently, from what I understand, is like afterward when they went to commercial break, everyone kept chanting like F5 him again or something. They just did some chant. Brock Lesnar just. Another F5.
Well, that would have been during the break. That'd have been a third F5.
Yeah, during the commercial break. Yeah.
No, it happened. It didn't. They didn't show it on the app. They didn't say, "Oh, this is what happened on the app." When Stephanie fucking said you're suspended, he picks his ass up and drops him again.
Yeah, twice. And
but that was no break in between.
I'm saying there was a third one.
Oh God.
Yeah, a third one just to appease the crowd there going crazy, which was hilarious.
That poor sap. Who the fuck was that?
From what I mean, when they do spots like this, it's always an indie worker. So yeah. I guess that guy just got the payday of his dreams right there working San Jose. I'm sure the San Jose indies aren't that good. I'm sure this guy made a shit ton of made some money. And
it's too bad that half of it was going to be spent on the damn hospital bills.
Become big, your dreams.
Like,
you get to finally be on Raw, but you're not going to end up making any money because you're going to have to. You're facing Brock Lesnar.
He's like, what do you, like the money you make is going to be in hospital bills. It's like, this is Vince McMahon. He doesn't believe in Obamacare. Like he's not paying these guys like injuries. No. Like no. Like, okay, you can make this money, but you basically use that money to heal up. What you're paying, what you're getting is this spot. So, like, poor guy.
And then, Stephanie in the back further just explaining why she's pissed at Lesnar and how he's going to be suspended. And we're going to get Rollins versus Lesnar when she says we're going to get Rollins versus Lesnar.
Because the last time I checked, he was on SportsCenter saying that he was done with UFC and he signed a contract with WWE. I own that son of a bitch.
Yeah, real Vince right there. Real Vince coming out.
The Attitude Era has returned. Part 1.
And then after that, we have Stardust versus Mizdow. I think it's hilarious. Mizdow still comes out to Miz's music and everything. After they obviously, had a falling out on Mania last night.
Mad over, man.
This match was very good. I know it was Ziggler and Bryan. Obviously, that's gonna be a great match. Obviously, that was over. But this match, I would say, hell, if you can somehow watch it with you muted or something. And take the crowd out, which is impossible to do for this Raw. But
Cody,
I would say that the Cody and Mizdow held their own against Bryan.
But he's working Miz's style, which is still kind of odd to me. Like he finished. He does the skull crushing finale. It was a good match, but it's like, when is he gonna break? If he's gonna break away.
He wins with the skull crushing.
Yeah, he wins with the skull crushing finale. It's like if this is Mizdow independent Mizdow, why is he still scripted as the Miz is giving? Is it in his mind?
I think it's just funny.
I'm trying to break down the psychology of the script. It's like in his mind, is he still just sort of connected in a way? It's hard for him to let it go. Like. That's what needs to happen. They got to break down the psychology of this because this isn't like a gimmick anymore. I mean, like this isn't funny anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This isn't meant to make you laugh any longer. this is some psychology going on too. Like, is this Stockholm syndrome going on to a certain, what's going on?
Well,
Why?
I think that in and of itself is hilarious. Like, if you have Mizdow wrestling the Miz with him doing Miz, I think that can allow some comedy, just like how Mizdow was being the stunt double at first and all that too. I think this has still got some humor involved, even though it's building, because Miz did come out and attack.
But that was some Santino shit though.
Well,
would you agree?
I think that's what this feud is. If you remember, Santino was mega over too.
I know, but he was a.
And you compare.
He was a clown.
And you compare it to the Attitude Era. I mean, everyone was over in the Attitude Era, even the clowns. I mean, the Godfather would come out. I mean, and get completely.
But
cheered.
for him to finally stand his ground is not comedy anymore.
It's coming though. I think it's coming.
I think they're done with this.
I think they're gonna have a one-on-one match at Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not funny anymore. This isn't fun. This is not meant to be fun anymore. Maybe I'm. Hey, did anyone else get this inclination about what's happening with Sandow? It's not supposed to be fun anymore. We're not laughing, ha anymore. We're watching this guy ascend, quote unquote, right? Mm-hmm. He put up a great fight. He was the last guy out of the ring for the Battle Royal. This is his ascension, to a certain degree. And even though it smells funny, it's not funny. Especially being that the Miz came out and how he attacked him. It's like this is heat, boy.
Miz did another good job, just like Sheamus did, of course Stephanie did, of just loving the fact that they were booing him.
Yes.
Like eating it up, and I think that's how you got to take it. I know they put New Day in a weird spot because New Day still has got to act like faces either way, but Miz and Sheamus, I'm not too big of fans with them, but I think they did hold their own with a hostile crowd. They didn't fall victim to it. Does that make any sense?
I know. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But Miz, this was probably the most. What did I write? I wrote edgy. That's like him coming out in just regular clothes and him just basically pointing, nothing. He looks legitimately mad.
Yeah.
Like an edgier Miz. That looked good. Everything about this is good. Now, we could go over all the storylines. The most impressive storyline from Roman Reigns to Ambrose to fucking. You take all the storylines. Even this is the one that's most polished, and they took their time with it. And they're still taking their time with it, which is so impressive. They're not blowing their wad. If he would have won,
or giving up on it like they did Stardust.
Yeah. And if Mizdow would have won that Battle Royal, that would have been blowing the wad. You know what I'm saying? That would have been he didn't need to win it. That would have been too much, too soon. They still run it with this, and I just go, this is. I only hope that Mizdow becomes Sandow again, and Sandow rise the momentum of this previous thing. Does he become a title contender? Maybe for the U.S. belt, maybe for the Intercontinental belt. Keep a story attached to him, then he's gonna be well off. I think he's gonna do just fine. And Miz as a formidable heel too. They're doing each other gold right now. It's so impressive. For the least likely tandem, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I love the feud. And then we had Axelmania in the ring saying, like we said before, Extreme Rules coming up, and it took 29 men to take him out, and they ambushed him, they ganged up on him, and he pretty much makes an open challenge to the locker room, and that's when Adrian Neville on NXT, former NXT champion, former Pac from the Indies and Japan, comes out with a cape, like a Lord of the Rings-esque cape. He kind of he's already a smaller guy with his ears kind of stick out a little more, but with the
Mighty Mouse. That's been the speculation.
Yeah, he looks like a Mighty Mouse or a Frodo or something like that. But he comes out and destroys it, man. Springboard moonsault to kick off everything, and then he of course does the Red Arrow. It's pretty much a squash match.
He's too fast. It took a while.
Too fast.
But actually, it took.
Are you gonna tell Cesaro he's too strong?
No. Axel had to keep up. And then that was the thing. You could tell, like, Axel had to keep up with this guy. Now, you look at Neville. He's excited. He's really excited, right? It's not only his debut, but he's in front of, like, the Raw, the Raw After Mania crowd. Like, he's marking out for himself. So, if you watch the match again, you could tell that, like, Axel is having a hard time just trying to keep up. So it made it, even though it was a great match, it just made it didn't look as it didn't come off as smooth of a match, right? Because he's marking out. He's and Axel, like, it's not like Axel has to work with a guy that works that fast. It's not like anyone on the roster works with anyone that fast. And that's going to take some adjusting.
I'm not sure, but I think they actually had a match in NXT not too long ago.
Who?
Axel and I think it was either Axel and Finn or Axel and.
Well, it still doesn't take away from the fact that it's like holding Steph Curry. I don't care. I mean, Axel's a great wrestler. He's the only one that could probably pull it off, like in terms of debut to make it look at least good. But he's going too. I mean, watch it again and just keep up with Axel and see he's having a rough time keeping up.
Yeah.
Rough time.
I mean, second NXT started coming out of the night. You already had Kalisto, another high flyer, and Adrian Neville. So this is kind of cool where they're going with these two. And then all of a sudden, the John Cena won the U.S. title, comes out, kind of mocks the crowd a little bit, like he goes back in because they're booing him. Then he comes right back out.
New shirt. Yeah,
new shirt with the Champions Here kind of logo, which is the dumbest shirt design Cena's ever had. And now with the U.S. title. So in case you wanted to not buy the world title one with the Champions Here, you can now buy the U.S. title. Whatever. And the guy who accepts the challenge is Dean Ambrose. I think they were expecting a gigantic ovation for this, and it was kind of on par with all the others, I would say. Like, comparable to the night, Dean didn't really get cheered as hard as I would say, the Zigglers, the Bryans, the people on his, that I would say are in his, like, his crowd.
What are you saying?
Like I was saying, like, it looks like they're like, he might not be as over as he was like earlier in the year.
We are becoming more cynical of his ascension. He works his ass off, and he's going there with Cena. So I don't think it was like this. Okay, he's like, oh God, he's going in there with Cena. Like, it's like this dude doesn't stand a chance. Like, I think that was more the reaction. Like, oh no, anyone but Ambrose. Send out someone else. We love Ambrose. He's just gonna walk in and lose the match.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good match though.
He's turned. This was the match of the night. What are you talking about? This was an alright match. This was amazing. And other than the botch that everyone ignored,
mm-hmm.
when he tried to do they're on the top rope, he tries to go over his back.
Yeah, no you fucked up chance or anything like that.
Nothing. Everyone's like, internet darling, we forgive you. Cena, I don't know, like, I'm sitting.
That fucks with me right there, man. Can I say something? I know, like, we'll talk about, like, some other stuff, but, like, if you're gonna be that hard on certain guys, if the guys you love fuck up, you gotta get on them just as hard. If you're gonna be just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I'm saying, did Cena leave him hanging to dry? Did he leave him hanging to dry,
I'm not
did he
sure.
actually help him? Because the match just went on. He's like, get up, it's fine. I think that's what it was. I think he was said it. Like, that's what I bet he's like, it's fine, come back.
Yeah.
Because it looked like it kind of left him to dry, but at the same time, he took the bump.
Mm-hmm.
And no one focused on it. It was so awkward, but no one focused on it. And this is one of the great. This is the thing about John Cena. This guy is like a chameleon when it comes to fucking wrestling guys, right? Like, anyone that he goes up against, either for the first time or say with Punk. His match with Sandow was awesome, right? You remember when Sandow went up against him?
Cena? No.
Yes. This was like it was basically it was John Cena. I think it was this moment It was right after that's what it was. It was after his feud with Sheamus.
Okay.
He basically got bullied the whole time, and he came out as a chump. And I think I'm not sure if he called out Cena or Cena did an open challenge and Sandow came out and just had this awesome match, right? The same happened with Sandow had an amazing match. Punk ended up having amazing matches with them. He had amazing matches with Rusev and even Rollins, but like he comes in there and he's on top of his game. He was on top of his game in this. And I was watching the Wrestling Jesus last night. He was talking about and Dean Ambrose and your internet darling, he botched. He's like, you know what? Cena didn't botch. Cena never botches. And you know what? He doesn't. Cena never botches. Ever. It looks awkward.
I would say Cena botched. I mean,
he doesn't botch.
One time, the main event of Mania, The Rock had his arms held back, and they were just sitting there talking to each other in the middle of the ring. I would say that's a pretty big botch.
No, I'm talking about a move, a maneuver.
Well,
a maneuver. The guy doesn't botch. And he doesn't put himself in a situation to botch because he always does the same thing.
Very simple move. Yeah.
But when he take that stunner off the rope, that had a potential for disaster.
Yeah.
And he nails it. But this was so.
Well, Cena wins. Cena definitely wins.
So it was very much like a pay-per-view match. Ambrose kicks out of an AA, that which impressed everyone. Botch, no one cared. Ambrose applies the STF. He drags his ass back, puts it back on him, and Cena kicks out of a dirty deeds, and Cena wins with the AA. And I just go like this. Yeah, this stole the show tonight. And it's funny that it's Cena. Cena does it again. He kept up with.
You think this stole the show?
Hell yeah, it stole the show. I mean, in terms of matches, this is the best match of the night.
You don't think? I mean.
Ziggler
and Bryan, you don't think it was a...
This one's way better. Because you look at...
There's no botch spots in Ziggler and Bryan.
Well, I look at... I mean, that was the botch that didn't happen. The way that no one reacted, you fucked up. Because you would think that they would be like, you fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, that's the most rabid crowd you can actually get. So, as big of a botch that was, to go like a tree falling in the forest... with no one around, it's pretty impressive. It just goes to show that what you're thinking that Ambrose isn't as over as he is, no, that's debunked. He's over enough to take that big botch out of the equation. Every time Cena gets into the ring, we have low expectations of him. Every fucking time. You know he's gonna win. Right?
Yeah.
But then he gets in with a guy that you think could wrestle circles around him, and he's keeping up. And then they tell the story in the ring, and you're left going, "Wow, a Cena match? Why am I so impressed? When the last time a Cena match pissed me off? You know, like when the last time a Cena match pissed you off?"
Lots of times. What do you mean? I mean, do you want me to name every time?
No, I'm just saying, like,
I can't.
Since he's been wrestling in Punk, like the whole summer of Punk, and when they had their rival, even with him and Daniel Bryan, like the guy has showed up to the occasion against Brock. He's part of all the best matches. And you can't say that he's not in the ring. He's in the ring, holding up his end of the bargain. And I just go like, this is awesome. This match stole the night. I mean, you want to personally not like Cena, that's you. But I'm not gonna play that like Mark role and like disrespect the guy when the guy has talent. Oh.
I mean, no one's. I mean, I don't mind Cena. I'm not gonna. He's not like the guy I hate. But
you do though.
No. Why do you say that?
I think you're putting my brain and connecting with all these other people.
Okay, my bad. I fall back.
I've actually saw Cena wrestle in OVW. I have like a connection with Cena. I saw him wrestle before he was even on the main roster. When I was a little kid, I went to an OVW show where he's a prototype, and he was but I don't know. I definitely don't think this match was as good as Bryan Ziggler, based on the fact that there was no mess ups, not even a mess up that no one reacted for.
All right.
And the springboard.
All right.
The surfboard.
He does a surfboard every fucking time. That's not even
that move
special.
alone is better than most people's matches.
That's fine. I mean, but it's not like it was like this. All of a sudden, he did this surfboard. He does it every time.
He laid it in a little more.
Bryan as much as Cena is. He does the same moves every time.
Yeah, but his moves are insane. You already talked about.
That's great.
You already talked about how he hits. Hits a little harder. He puts a little bit more effort in there.
I know,
and then the fact that he can do moves that other people cannot do when they're rest holds.
Granted, but it's not like we haven't seen these already. We see them all the time. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna prove to you. I'm not trying to convince you that Cena's match is better. I'm just saying that Cena's and Ambrose match was the match of the night. And especially with the chaos, the John Cena sucks, just everything. It worked out. It was, for me, it stole the show. It really did. In terms of matches, there's no other match to me on this night that came close.
Okay. Well, rewatch Raw, guys. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you think Daniel Bryan and Ziggler with no mess-ups is better than Dean Ambrose and Cena with a mess-up.
A non-mess-up. No one cared.
A non-mess-up mess-up?
Man, if they would have shitted on him, if that would have been Cena that did that, then they'd be like, "You fucked up."
That's a critique on the crowd. If you're gonna be hard on everybody, be hard on everybody.
Yes.
Don't let Dean slip through the cracks.
Hey, you know what? He slipped right through. He was like the Terminator. He was like the liquid Terminator. He just turned into liquid and reformed. It was good. It was all good. Whatever.
And then we had Rollins in the back cutting a promo. He's the champ or whatever. He's cutting this big promo. Orton shows up, but then Big Show and Kane come up to get Rollins back. Authority still got Rollins back, even with the belt.
Yeah, reiterates that what you said earlier. I beat you, even though you got the title. I beat you, so I'm in line for the belt.
Yeah, which pretty much I think they're going to set up an Extreme Rules main event match with that. But then they set up this main event, which we'll get to a little later. It's pretty hectic. It's Orton and two guys of his choosing at this point versus Big Show, Kane, and then the new champion, Seth Rollins. Yeah, then we go into AJ Lee and Naomi versus Bellas and Natty. AJ Lee.
Yeah, it's AJ in a Bailey shirt. Naomi and Paige versus the Bellas and Natalya.
Yeah, Natty and Naomi killed it as always. Natty's suplex was sick as always. Nikki, comes in pretty much. A
lengthy match. It goes through a commercial break. Again, this is like the fourth straight week it goes to a commercial break, but the crowd is shitting on it.
Oh yeah, Naomi pins Nikki. I was speechless with this pin. I don't know if you remember the pin at all.
Yeah, I remember it because here's the thing. In the midst of all the chaos, Nikki hits Brie. I mean, Brie hits Nikki. Like, there's this moment where it's Nikki that gets pinned. Is Brie that gets pinned or Nikki gets pinned? I should know better than this.
Excuse me?
Does Nikki get pinned or Brie gets pinned?
Nikki gets pinned. You have not seen the pin.
Yeah. It was after the ass, the rear view.
Yeah.
And she sits on her and puts her legs straight up in the air, right? Some shit like that.
Okay. Just making sure. That was my move of the year.
I hear you. But yeah, it was just weird to see that Brie just kind of clobbers Nikki as a mistake. And yeah, Naomi gets the pin with the rear view. But yeah, this crowd shits on it. There's a lot of press on it about how sexist remarks talking about you fucked Cena,
Oh,
you sucked, Cena, all that stuff. But it's getting pressed right now. Like feminists it's in like feminist press right now about like the mistreatment of the women and chastisement. I'm like, look, guys, y'all gotta watch. These are guys from other parts of the country, other parts of the world that view women differently, And like it sucks. But like I'm not putting the blame. But like if you want to say
you said 14,000 people were there, there's probably quite a bit more assholes who you didn't hear.
Yeah, and if you watch Raw, the women never get chastised like that. Like you fucked Cena, chance. No, that never happens. If anything, we're all whining about give him a chance. These are the meatheads. So watch Raw, next Raw, whoever's listening. And then from now on, you will not hear that. That was a one-night occasion. I'm not sitting here trying to defend them at all. But, like, don't stroke wrestling fans with that sexist brush.
Shit.
We're on the Divas side. That's why they're getting longer time.
If you listen to mainstream media and you know nothing about wrestling, you think that we love murderers, we're sexist, and we hit each other with light tubes.
And racist.
Yeah. Racist, sexist, hit each other with light tubes, and love murderers. That's what we all are. But, we know we're not. We know we just like, little sports entertainment.
We say, the Macho Man, I got a white boot, I got a black boot. I'm no racist! That's so great.
That's a Macho Man wisdom coming out.
I'm no racist!
And then in the back, Ryback just pretty much joins Team Orton. Mm-hmm. Watch out, Orton, if you are ever facing Triple H one day at WrestleMania, he will not come out and help you. Moving on. Rusev and Goldust.
Oh, never mind. No Lana, whatever. Let's get past this.
Okay, yeah.
Let's get past this.
Rusev beats Goldust with the accolade.
This breaks my heart. I hate seeing Gold. No, I refuse because this is bullshit. Goldust is better than this, and this is probably going to be. That probably was his last match. Because he got slaughtered.
Do you remember we said that his the Battle Royal was going to be his last match, and as soon as we said that, there goes Goldust over the top rope.
Yeah.
His treatment is
horrible.
It's horrible. Yeah,
it's horrible. And him as a kind of defenseless, I don't like it. I just put no Lana, whatever. Like whatever. Yeah. And I say this is post streak. He's more dangerous. I think Rusev, they're making him to be more dangerous. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And then we go into this, the main event that the crowd shits on. Rollins, Kane, and Big Show versus Orton, Ryback, and then through the crowd,
No Cell Reigns in the house.
Reigns comes out. And
No Cell fucking Reigns is in the house.
Some guy had a sign that got on TV. It said like Roman Reigns. It didn't say sucks. It was like Roman Reigns. It was like some British term like is a bloker.
He's a wanker.
Is a wanker. And he held it right in the camera. You could tell it was like right when you were supposed to see Roman Reigns appear through the crowd, and then the guy just covered up Reigns' face. So like for 3 seconds, Reigns had to like jump in front of this guy's sign. Yeah, the crowd really enjoyed.
Yeah, that was it. That was the. He pushed a dude in that, not at WrestleMania, but at this, he shoves a guy, like straight up shoves a dude, and that's when all the security came out on some like bullshit and was harassing the fans and whatever, man. But No Cell Reigns. He's Cena. You think Cena no sells post matches? He had his ass handed to him by Brock Lesnar, and he's walking down the motherfucking stairs like. Nothing happened to him. Not that he got suplexed 1 billion times and thrown in 17 fucking F5s. Nothing. He should have came walking down the ramp, waving his hand in front of his face, like you can't see me, because that's what John Cena does. He no sells. Yeah. Like he should have a bandage or something. Brock's coming out with nicks and cuts on his face. What the fuck is Reigns coming out doing?
And then
man, that pissed me off.
The match goes pretty well. Rollins and Orton definitely had a good exchange there. They did the spot where Orton catches Rollins' foot and tries to throw him backwards, but Rollins ends up doing a flip. I always enjoy that spot. But then they start chanting, "We want Ryback," And I think that just got the crowd going because they just got going and just really started shitting on this match.
Yeah, I hate that, and shame on them.
And then they did the wave, which I was even cool with the wave.
They did the wave last year.
Yeah, which I was cool with all that. And then they did the "We Are Awesome" chant, which I mean that.
Fuck you. You know what? We love you. Day after Raw. I mean, Raw after Mania crowd. We love you.
Especially,
you guys set the bar. Like every year, you set the bar. You set the tone for how the crowds should be whenever you do. Whenever we watch Raw, because we go like, oh man, the crowd sucked. Because you know what? You are responsible for this, and that's good. Raise the bar, get everyone in line, and to be awesome. But when you hijack a match like that, and you can see it got to Orton, it got to everybody, man. And I think the only person that really shrugged it off was Reigns, right? Because he's like, these guys hate me anyway, fuck. But like you got Rollins trying to maintain attention. You got Orton trying to maintain attention. You got Show trying to maintain attention. And it's like, we are awesome, really.
I think they chanted "Please retire" at Big Show too, which was, but that's at least giving a heel like some heat. That's at least about the match. But "We Are Awesome" chants and all that stuff is kind of whatever. But I don't.
It's full of shit, is what it is.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Like I hate those 3-word chants anyway. Like "We are awesome," "This is awesome," "This is wrestling," blah 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Like seriously. Like it can be all fun and games. I get it. But it's not special anymore. Like it's a false sense of big upping someone in the ring. This is awesome. Or this is wrestling. Like no, it's not. It's not at all. Like you got these wrestlers in there trying to get this chant. It's like no, don't try to get the crowd to say you're awesome or like tell you that it's wrestling.
And also
you're the professional in the ring.
It also puts less weight if you're not gonna, because ECW had a crazy crowd, but they would boo people. It took you a while to get the "This is awesome" chant. Now everyone with all these highlight packages and these DVDs think that that's how you should be as a wrestling crowd. You should just accept what's happening in the ring. And then, so like with the Dean Ambrose botch, he should have gotten drilled, with a "You fucked up" chant or something like that. And then that would put more validity to when you do chant "This is awesome." You know what I'm saying? There should be a just as big of a negative chant to go along with the "This is awesome" chant.
It's so watered down.
Yeah, it's not what it used to be.
Yeah,
have fun at your show, chant whatever you want. Obviously, I'm not gonna rip your sign down or cover your mouth, but do your thing.
I will.
Peter's coming after you.
I'm coming for you, nigga. But like even the last week's match between Ziggler and Bryan, and Ziggler went over. Like there was a spot where it was just a headlock. It was like basically the transition lock.
Yeah, this is awesome.
And it was "This is awesome" chants happening, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's a fucking headlock.
But
this is a headlock.
I'm sure that
God.
I'm sure like being drunk around all those people. I'm sure like the mob mentality would get you to chant some silly stuff too. Probably me.
Nah, I would have been pissed off.
I would have probably chanted some silly stuff.
Shut the fuck up. That would have been me in the crowd. Like, dude, y'all, fuck y'all. This is blatant disrespect. Blatant disrespect.
I see what you're saying, man. It's hard to go either way with that. I can see the whole crowd just wanting to have fun, especially if especially if they saw all that wrestling over the weekend. Yeah. The last match, they want to have a little fun.
But at whose expense?
Exactly.
It's just.
But the wave, I think the wave adds to it, because if
the wave was cool,
if they kept wrestling and then the wave and then the pan back of the camera and everything, that would have been like a wild moment right there.
Because I could see the cameraman. It took him a while to follow it, and I think it was like, follow that goddamn wave, like, Rollins saw that. Rollins was like, just looking like, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah.
It got to him, and that's y'all guy. Like, y'all love him, and y'all gonna shit on his match.
He kind of did a good job. Like, he grabbed Orton and just like, you don't run the WWE, I run the show. Fuck, he's just like, he's healing out, and then that kind of got the crowd back into it. I think what was missed was Ryback hit Big Show with a shell shock. You think people would care? At least like
he's been picked up too much. And this is something that we've talked about before.
And Reigns wins with the spear. So
do we even get a Superman punch in there anywhere?
I don't. I was just shocked, but I think the crowd just took it. The crowd did take it over.
They hijacked. It was a hijacking.
It was
Get TSA in there.
You had NXT in there. NXT takeover.
No, TSA. Get the plane security. That was a straight up hijacking. That was total hijacking shit. And not to be insensitive to what's happened with was that Korean Airlines? What the fuck was that? What?
Oh yeah, not to be insensitive.
Yeah, we're not being insensitive to that. I'm just saying, but that was some hardcore hijacking. And then that's Raw. But nevertheless, normally I watch Raw and we would get into like the third hour. I'm like, oh my god, we got one more hour. This week it was like, oh my god, I wish this could go till 12. And that's probably the first time ever I felt that way since it's been a 3-hour show. Did you feel that way?
I love this show. I mean, a lot of times, which I think maybe if they lean more to this, like everyone's calling it the Attitude Era Raw, maybe hopefully this is like a new thing that
all these bitches flying around and ass. Cena's cussing more than anyone.
Yeah, not just swearing though, just like the whole like Brock Lesnar's tore down the set. We had Brock Lesnar and Rollins, but it ended up being a 6-man. Like this kind of like
he was a one man Nexus. He was a one man Nexus.
He was.
It really was. My heart was racing.
That's a match that got lost with time. Brock Lesnar versus Nexus.
Oh yeah,
especially with all those rookies. Dude,
Brock destroys them all and pins. He kills Tarver. Tarver has. Oh man, sorry again. Anyway, that was. You gotta like so many events like Pierre. How you say his name? Pierre, the Mexican guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like,
Pero.
I was trying to make a joke about how Tarver was going to get destroyed, and it can come off badly. But
it's all good. It's all good. This was
this is
good Mania, good Raw.
I saw Max Landis tweet. He goes, "Glad y'all like the show. Good to see y'all like the show." That was he just put that tweet out. It's good that y'all like the show. He may be behind all of this.
Well, if he was behind this Mania and this Raw,
he's definitely behind that fucking
because there's definitely
Triple H Sting match.
Good on him.
I thought he wouldn't make it, but I think Triple H loves him. I think Vince McMahon loves him. I think he comes in with like a new
There's
energy.
one thing that Triple H does love is himself, and
yes.
he did make a 30-minute video about Triple H. So if that was his like interview or anything like that, then you definitely.
But I bet he comes in with like a whole. This is all like assumption. For him to make that sort of tweet, and I was like, "Are you behind this?" He never responds. He did nothing. Everyone's like
responded with like a dot.
No, nothing. It was a couple of other people because it's not like his Twitter is big. It's not. He only has a certain amount of followers. And his stuff doesn't get like overly retweeted and starred. And no, he's just a guy. His dad is his dad. Great, but his dad is his dad. And I bet he comes in on some like Freddie Prinze type stuff. Like he's in there with this new vigor, this attitude. His dad is John Landis. Like that's as much as Vince McMahon is all about like making movies. You mean to tell me I'm one stroke away from the guy who created Thriller? Oh yeah. So Landis is in there, and I bet he's coming in with a whole new attitude, and I think probably Vince likes him. So maybe he's in there. Now, just to say this one more thing, and then we'll close it out, unless you have something else to say. Mm-hmm. You're missing NXT, and I apologize.
No, it's all good.
What's great about this, and regardless of who writes it, what the Mania of the Raw is the scrapping of old stories. It's the scrapping of everything. It's basically the season premiere. The season premiere there is a season premiere, but really the season premiere is the day after Mania. So you're starting with fresh, new stories, right? And whoever's the writing team and whoever these people are, they can become creative again. And this is why this show ended up being as good as it was, because I imagine it was like a boom, new material. Regardless if Landis is in there or not, it's new material because he wasn't there last year, and last year's Raw After Mania was great. The year before that was great. Mm-hmm. It's just this new. It's like taking off like what's it called, like leg weights, taking off like weighted gear. Like you just take it off, and now you can jump to the moon and run faster. You know, right around say until over the limit. Now what would it, or capital punishment, where like you're. It's post SummerSlam, and you're kind of tired. You're kind of like, you're like,
we just had a great weekend, but we're definitely like looking into the abyss as far as storylines go. They took Brock off already. Yeah. There's definitely not going to be any Ronda Rouseys or Rocks. It's going to kind of go down. But with that said, we do have a good story arc for the world title, with everyone still trying to get after Rollins, Orton, and Reigns, and then you have I would say the two undercard titles are held up better than they have in years. I want to say a decade, just because I'm gonna just give it that, but I want to say my lifetime. Cena with the U.S. belt, Daniel Bryan with the Intercontinental title.
Well, Rusev's reign with it. I mean, his battle against Jack Swagger when it was.
Well, I mean, even putting it on. Remember when they put it on Sheamus? We were like, "Wow, Sheamus has the U.S. title. This is a real step down." But then you saw the height right there, because then Rusev got it, and then who's gonna be Rusev? And then now Cena has the U.S. fucking title, and that's a good way to kind of. Cena's obviously one of the most over guy in the company, if not, one of the most, if not the most. So that obviously just put the U.S. title that's like Cena's title. That you get Cena off of the world title to have this good storyline laid out, and you can Cena is getting older. It's been like 12, 13 years him on top. So this is a good way of kind of bringing
25,000 years on top.
Yeah, this is a good way to bring him down, a little bit.
He ain't done. I told you. Wrestlemania is going to be Reigns and Cena.
I know he's not done, but this is a good way to kind of bring him, down a little bit.
Give him because he's actually like
cool him down and warm him up.
Yeah. He's actually getting some. He's getting my respect.
Exactly. That's
he's doing the job. But yeah, and now Sting didn't show up.
No, Sting was exclusive on the network.
Yeah. But like still though, like he wasn't on Raw.
And he came out to that live crowd. That was the end of it. And he said something like, "If WWE wants me, I'll be interested," kind of. But the way he was talking, he kept it within the parameters of the show. But he pretty much like laid out that like he doesn't have a contract, and then nothing's been offered yet. It's kind of what he kind of laid out, in his Sting way of still trying to hype up the crowd. But that was like, if you were taking notes, those are the things you'd write down, which is kind of shitty. But hopefully they offer him something, because even if it's like a Bray match like we were talking about or something like that, it would definitely be a lot better than him coming in and losing.
I don't think Cena with the U.S. belt makes the belt any more. I don't think so.
Right now, but within the next few months.
That belt's done. In my head, that belt's done. I mean, Ambrose assisted me with that because he never defended it.
Oh, well, it was done a long time before that.
I know, but that put the icing on the cake for me.
I think Santino had it, and then Santino just like without even losing it, just kind of just drifted off of him at one point. I think that was the lowest.
That belt's done. That belt needed to leave. Yes, it needed to leave last decade. I mean, that belt don't mean nothing. It's all about. It's not going to be a wrestling title. Very much like I see the IC belt. Like who's going to be seen as contenders? Like what? Who? Like it's not going to do any justice.
I would say Cena and Bad News would be a good feud. I would say
he already did a feud with him.
Yeah, years ago. But I'm saying
Nexus.
Yeah, Nexus.
He was a slave.
I would say this year. Well, I would say Barrett come with the mic skills he has now with this whole like Bad News thing, and then the type of crowd reaction, the type of people that love Barrett hate Cena, the type of people that love Cena hate Barrett.
He's still tied up with the IC belt. Though. He's still tied up.
Well, I think Cena's gonna have the belt for a while. That's the whole thing.
Oh man.
I think
who's
the reason,
gonna beat him? And they're gonna feed him like these superstars guys, these main event guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like seriously? Like,
that'll give.
Or they're gonna bring Orton down to face him for the fucking US belt. Or they're gonna bring down, you know, like, you gotta bring people down to it. And then whoever at it is Endeavor. We didn't see Eric Rowan, did we?
On the show?
Oh boy, the Endeavors. Did the Endeavors list come out today somehow this week? Within the next week or so?
Well, it's not normally an official day, but normally around the end of Mania they kind of go away. CJ Parker already saw the writing on the wall. He kind of just like, okay, guys, I'm getting beat every week. I'm out. I'm not gonna.
Actually, he wrote on the wall. He was like,
did you see? He posted something that says, "Best of luck on your," in all caps, future endeavors, WWE. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we're get the fuck out of here. It just sucks that we're gonna miss this idea of him coming out and something special about to happen.
Nah,
you know, because that's him. That was his role. Yeah. When he comes out, he's like, "Oh shit, something's cool about to happen."
He really wasn't that good of a worker, and his idea, his gimmick was to complain, and you don't really want. That's not a good.
Yeah.
That's not a good.
You got to be some sort of coward. You got to be a fighting coward.
Yeah.
Even cowards fight, like Rollins. You know.
Yeah.
But like, no, his shtick was if he comes out, something awesome's about to happen.
You can't have a hippie as a wrestler. I mean, the whole idea is you're fighting.
So, Tyler Rex.
With the dread.
Him and Tyler Rex should be a tag team in ROH. Oh, and TNA. That'd be awesome. Man, we got to wrap this up.
Some heel ties their dreads together.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to get out of here.
All right, guys. This was Peter and Jake talking wrestling.
And just
Faster Than the World podcast coming up. SmackDown review coming up. Dang, We Love Divas coming out in a month. Fuck yeah.
Peter Talks Wrestling with this Friday. Probably with Nathan again.
JG at JG Pro Wrestling on Twitter.
At Ellen Japanese. And is it anything else?
Dude, this is over 2 hours.
Go. And, no, I'm talking about like anything between us, but like, yeah, go back and listen to because we've been going since SummerSlam of last year. So go check the archives. Go get a good laugh.
If there's like maybe a particular match you like throughout the year, yeah, go back and listen to it.
And thank you for listening. Shout out, no shout outs.
Fuck y'all.
No shout outs. And until next time, we'll see you. He'll see you in Faster the World. I see you Friday with Peter Talks. And check out SmackDown.
Later.
You have been listening to Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast. Please tune in next week.
Come on, y'all, get live, get down. Like, come on, y'all, get live, get down. I said, come on, y'all, get live, get down. I said, come on, y'all, get live,